Okay, so on to spreadsheet task 6. This is a sales report. So we're going to actually look at some data, which we're then going to compile together to actually find out how some group of people are going in a job. So within this, we need to look at total sales for each employee per month. So that's just data, which I've given you the data down here, and this is just for an Adelaide store. If you were going to really do this, you'd do it for multiple stores. You need to calculate total sales for each employee for each 6-month period. So basically, add up all one row. So Andrew across this row. Total sales for the store per month. Let's add a column. Each employee needs a graph of sales figures per month. So basically, that will be coming to all these graphs down here. So it also asks for a pie chart to look at employee sales for 6 months to demonstrate which employees contribute the most. So we need to look at the total then and do a pie chart of name versus their total to work out who's done the best over that time. A column graph, right, which is the vertical graphs to see how each employee's done per month, so the breakdown. A line graph to look at total sales. Line graph total sales store, see which months the store performed best, and each of these should be on a different sheet. So let's get cracking. Now I've already entered the data and set up graphs just to make it easy for me, and so you can see where we're going. So here I've got my Adelaide store. I could probably actually move that to there. The different months. This is the employee total. Let me just put a box around it, and ta-da. Okay, so this is employee total. So to work at that, all we need to do is do equals sum bracket of all of Andrew's thing, end of bracket, finish, and fill that one down. Okay, and end up with all the results. So from here, it looks like Douglas seems to be the highest selling person, and Bob is the second highest, whereas Fred is not doing so well. But apart from that, just looking at this, it looks like Cassandra is the second worst person. Now, next we want to do a graph of the total sales. So I'll highlight Andrew down here. So highlight the names, hold down Command, and copy this. And I want to insert a graph. Okay, so I want a pie graph, just a simple pie chart. Right, here's my pie chart here. Now, to get it looking like this, I've just gone across and chosen the one with the data on the outside. However, we can also go over here and add in labels. So data labels, let's go outside end. And if we right click, format labels, I can select all different things I want in here. So I want the value and I want the percent. Okay, so now the graphs are identical. I'm just going to delete this to get it out of the way. So here I'll put in employee 6-month data sales. So it's a fairly decent size spread. 27% is the highest, but 14% the lowest. So you can see it's not a great lot of difference. Okay, next we want to look at the column graphs. So to do column graph, I'm basically going to highlight the whole lot. Okay, insert column graph, and just a clustered column is fine. Alright, and I get something that looks like this. I'm just going to spread out a bit. Alright, and it's got January, February, so it's got each month, and it's got each different people for how they've done per month. So overall, we can see that this looks like the best month. However, you will also notice that Douglas and Bob doing quite well in these months, whereas other months not so good. Alright, so basically in sales for the company, it's not too bad. Again, I'm going to delete this. You can see I put in monthly sales data. The next one is employee improvement over time. I'm going to highlight exactly the same stuff. I'm going to insert, instead of a column graph, I'm going to insert a line graph with markers. So it looks like this. Spread it out a bit, make it a bit bigger. Right. Oops, my mistake. Okay, so that will give me the same graph. I'm just going to delete it to put it back here. So this is employees improvement over time. Now, if we're looking at this data, we already identified Douglas was selling the most. And if we look at Douglas, he has done pretty well. He's had a bad innings here, or a bad month, but then so did most other people, apart from Andrew. And then he's picked up again. So one bad thing for Douglas. He seems like a good employee. If we look at the next one here, we look at Fred. Fred is the only 14%, and if we look at his sales, he had a good month, and now he's kind of getting worse and worse and worse. He'll be someone who I'd be looking at getting rid of. All right. Here we've got Andrew. Andrew's kind of all over the place. He has a good month and a bad month. That could also be described because maybe he has big purchases one month and his customers that he's selling to tend to do a big purchase every 60 days, which means he'll have a good month and a bad month. The one person here who I'm really impressed by is Cassandra, because Cassandra starts off low and then she's getting better and better and better. She looks like she is going to be a gun. She's actually now beating Bob. In fact, she's beating everybody by the time we get to here. It does seem that the trend is improving quite a lot. Now, you'd want to see her next month to see how she's going. But good thing is, from this one set of data, we're getting quite a lot of information about these different people. Now, the other thing is, if I change this, so let's go to Fred. Turns out Fred's not doing so bad. He's just terrible with numbers. He's actually gone, he didn't sell 1,400. He sold 1,400,000. So I'm making it really exaggerated. So we can now see how he's very high. He's taken up a huge amount of stuff. This has messed up these graphs. All right, because we now have said, well, what's going on here? And it's messed up these graphs. So if you're going to do that, we can actually change this. Format the axis. Okay, it says minimum 0, maximum 1.6, so basically 1.6 million. Right, we're going to change that to be 1 million. Okay. Now it's still not good because everyone else isn't. So let's go 500,000. No, let's go 300,000. Right. Now we still have everyone else doing. Oh, actually, this is per month. Sorry. So the highest, apart from that, highest per month is about 60,000. Let's go 70. So keep it to the old data. All right. So now we can still see everyone doing quite well. How this data would be off the scale, right? Which is interesting. Same as here. We want to correct this. Format axis. And we want this to be 70,000. Right. So basically everything's fine, but Fred's just jumped off the scale there. All right. Let's go back to here. Turn him back to 1,400. Everything goes back to normal. All right. So that is budget. Sales results. Now, if we were doing this though for a group of results, so you would do one for each different company. So this one's just for Adelaide. All right. Then I would actually have different tabs. So let's rename this tab while we're here. Name this tab for Adelaide. Okay, and I would do 1 month for each one, and of course we'd do one here for overall. The reason why I'm giving you a heads up for this is it's quite likely that you're going to be doing sales in your test, which you've seen. So, heads up for that. All right, good luck.